Hi guys, and yes, it's more halflings.
Gruffy Crow.
Okay, so last year I was looking for as many different halfling manufacturers as I could possibly find all around the internet, and there was some that I couldn't get hold of, and these Umbraturis Spellcrow minis were very hard to get hold of. I couldn't find anywhere selling them for a sensible price. But I was just at the York War Games show that I can never pronounce, and I found these two kicking around, and I thought, why not? So let's have a look. Spellcrow, warning, this product contains lead. We've got some sort of 25mm bases. I've never seen anything quite like that. It's a weird thing. And he's like it's almost like a little monk looking guy. He's got all sorts of little bits and pieces. Oh, and a little skull. He's almost like a little necromancer, I think. That's kind of cool. Since the army's green and yellow anyway, I could do this in a sort of sickly greenish yellow, sort of warp stony sort of colour, and really lean into that sort of necromancery look. Then I just need to find some halfling skeletons. Okay. The other one. I've never had a mini in these little cellophane bags before either. They're more like something you get jewellery in. He's ugly little fella. He comes with a little shield, like a little wood effect on it, and that sits over his hand quite nicely as well. We've got a bit of mould misalignment there. We're gonna have to fix that. But otherwise, quite a sort of clean cast, quite a chunky miniature. That one's a little bit better. Still kind of hard to see the details on these guys so far. So instead of these square bases, so I can fit them in my regular halfling army, I've got some of these slotted rounds. They sort of fit quite nicely. I quite like the tabs go right to the edges. So I'll get these glued down, sand on the bases, and I'll get them painted up in my regular halfling colour scheme. Cool, and here we have them all painted up. Not my best work, but I'm actually really happy with the way this guy came out. Said we've gone for the normal green and yellow sort of scheme, with this outfit mostly green. Now I might put a little bit of gloss on the gem. Funny little faces these guys have got, very squished up, very ugly, but absolute joy to paint. Loads of sort of hidden detail, like the back of this guy's hood's almost like a leaf shape, and then he's got like little details on here. Lovely models to paint. I've gone and fetched a variety of other manufacturers' halflings here, and we can have a bit of a compare. So we'll start with the North Star ones. These are what the bulk of my army is made up of, and we're not looking too bad. They're a little bit chunkier, but then they always will be. Much bigger face, but he actually just looks like a really ugly guy. I don't know. It's not too bad. Then we've got Midland miniatures. These are the closest match I've found to these on the most part. Same sort of idea. TT Combat. Not a massive fan of these ones. I don't have many of them, but we're getting closer sort of build wise. But still, these guys have got giant heads, really. Got War Games Atlantic. This one's not finished, obviously. Much taller. Black Scorpion. Once again, much smaller head. If you've not checked out Black Scorpion, I've got an increasingly quite fantastic fantasy range. There's halflings are just part of it. And then we'll go Lord of the Rings. Exactly the same, much slender, much finer model. So these are probably the chunkiest halflings I own, including these Games Workshop ones. Don't actually have many Games Workshop ones painted, but I do have the Chef. So yeah, probably the closest match to these. You could say they're kind of the sort of Games Workshop style, but much taller probably, a bit more. Yeah, probably taller. Their necks are up higher, not quite as squat as the Games Workshop ones. And last but not least, we've got this mithril guy, who was the ugliest halfling I'd painted so far, whereas I think this guy's probably beaten him to it. And obviously he's just a lot bigger than the mithril guy. So some of the chunkiest, sort of chubbiest halflings I've painted so far. Probably won't be using this guy an awful lot. I'm sure he'll look fine once he's in a unit, in a crowd. But the wizard, I might use occasionally. If you're interested in picking these up, I'll drop the link in the description. I did think they were harder to get hold of, but it appears you can still order them. And there's a few more sort of much higher fantasy, sort of more cartoony ones on there as well that I'd probably be less interested in. And here they are, all based up nicely to match in with the rest of the army. All in all, fine addition to my army. And that's all for this video. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments. Maybe subscribe for more. And as ever, thanks for watching. Bye.